Right, today we're going to talk about Article 4. The common one starts like this. La Repubblica riconosce a tutti I cittadini il diritto al lavoro. So here we can see that they see work as an inviolable right because it says La Repubblica riconosce this right to work. So it's recognising it, it's not establishing it. We saw in Article 2 they use the same language. With inviolable rights, they're seen as part of us, inalienable, part of our nature, and the state doesn't establish this right, it already exists, pre-state. So they see this right to work as being pre-existence of the state. Jus naturalista, they say. Now, the founding fathers saw work as something which integrates us into a community, a kind of act of solidarity. It brings us together and it sees everyone as workers. We see that in Article 3 when it talks about the participation of workers. The state removes obstacles which impede our growth and allows us to participate as workers to the social, economic and political progress. So it sees everyone as workers. This is very different from England. In England, first of all, the Constitution doesn't talk, the unwritten Constitution and what is written doesn't talk about workers. But historically and culturally, we've always separated workers and bosses, people that own the property. The most privileged people in our society, like the Queen, don't work. The aristocracy don't see themselves as workers. They see themselves as landowners, and maybe they rent and they take profits, but they don't work. They are called the idle classes, and this is not something which they would dispute. Deep down, we see ourselves as being of different classes, or of a different community. You've got the workers, and then you've got the landowners. And work seems to be in England a means of obtaining property or obtaining progress in your life. It's not really seen as a process of integration. It's not. They don't glorify work the same way as we see it glorified in the Constitution as a means of bringing people together and forming a community. In fact, later on in the economic relationships, in Article 35, it says the Republic must protect work. So it must act to protect work and must help workers develop and elevate themselves and progress. So it sees work as a means of people growing and thinks it sees the state as needing to invest in workers to improve them. This sentence says it recognises work. It doesn't say it guarantees work, and that's very important because you can't, if you guarantee work, you have a planned economy, and that means there's no freedom. It means the government decides who does what, who consumes what. The government would own all the the factories, the shops, it would reduce our freedoms to a minimum. So it doesn't say guarantees work, so it allows the free market to act, to exist, and then, you know, there is a possibility of people not working. But then it continues, it says, e promuove le condizioni che rendono effettivo questo diritto. Here we see that they don't want a total free market, but they do want the republic or the state and the public bodies to intervene in the market and to be present. Promuove le condizioni che rendono effettivo questo diritto. So the government must do something to help people have this right. It can't just sit back and just allow the free market. This is very different from England. England obviously would try to help people obtain work, but it sees progress as being the main objective, not, getting work for everybody as being the main objective. The progress, if progress means we have more technology and less work, so be it. That's the route we go down. We see this time and again in with the coal miners in the 1980s. Mrs. Thatcher closed a lot of coal mines and put tens of thousands out of a job. The state put tens of thousands out of a job because she saw progress as going away from the coal mines. That couldn't be done in Italy. The state couldn't sack tens of thousands of people because they wanted the economy to progress and develop. This is a very different perspective, and it also really ties the hands of the Italian government. It means, we've got to remember, the president of Italy is the guarantor of this constitution, and it means that the president can say to the prime minister, and he did say to Berlusconi, where's your program, your industrial program, because there's too many unemployed. Berlusconi had to produce an industrial program for Napolitano to demonstrate he has work as his top economic objective. Then it continues. Ogni cittadino ha il dovere di svolgere, secondo le proprie possibilità e la propria scelta, un'attività o una funzione che concorre al progresso materiale o spirituale della società. So we can see here, work is not just a right, it's also a duty, just like solidarity was a duty. So this is the second duty we see in the Constitution, and it can be seen in the same category as solidarity, something which includes, it's something very concrete that solidarity put into action. But we must choose work and within our possibilities, according to our choice. But if it's not possible to be the Prime Minister because someone else is the Prime Minister, I must find another option, basically. And then it says that goes towards the spiritual or material progress of society. So we can see they're trying to bring work into the community. We're all working for the spiritual and material progress of society. So we're all, cooperating in a way in a community for everyone's benefit. So this is how they're showing work is something which integrates us into a community. So we're all travelling down the same road, and that's progress of our society.